Hey guys, I'm Patrick, and today we'll see how to create the stylized sea, inspired by Studio Ghibli. We'll begin by searching some reference to find some ideas. We'll make a landscape with grass, flowers, and so on. In the link in the description, you'll find the UE5 project, and the scene is also made by these assets. You can find there on Fab, such water, skies, volumetric fog, and this last one with clouds, mountains. And with this last one, you can pretty much do everything because we have water, a sky, and so on. So, we'll begin with some images reference, such this one that is a Ghibli movie with wonderful mountains like this one. This beautiful grass and this water. On art station, I found this wonderful piece of war and this grassy field that are just wonderful. So, I want to try to draw something just to have a little idea of what I want to achieve. So, we have our mountains in the background, a lake on the left, and a hill on the right, with some flowers in it, and some waves, beautiful waves on the lake. So, I think that we can proceed in Unreal Engine 5. So just make a new level, a blank new level, like this one. I rename it 3.1 for gameplay purposes for my game. And here under Light Mixer, just click on these tabs right here so that we can create the initial light settings for our stylized sea. So just make a plane, scale it a little bit. Voila! We are ready to go. Just create a cube for reference. Alright. Under the landscape tab, we can create our landscape and begin. So, change the location on the z-axis to 0 and just increase a little bit the size of the plane of the landscape, and just click create. So, as you can see, if I sculpt on the landscape, the resolution, as you can see, is very low and bad. That's because we have a low resolution on the landscape. Just go to resize here and set this, this one, that will increase the overall resolution, as you can see. That will make the landscape more defined and detailed. As you can see now, I can sculpt right here, and you can see that we have a decent resolution, I think. Yes. Alright, I can start to paint perimeter. So increase just a little bit the brush size And I can start by creating some hills in the distance, just to have an idea of the real size of the sea. And to have the line of the horizon set up like that. I want to make our hill right here. That's a little bit too much. All right. That's our main hill. Okay. Now I will try to add some detail here on the background. Use the flatten tool to flatten the surface like that. Add a little more detail there. And I think I can try to make the lake now. So with Control press, you can sculpt in the opposite direction so that we can make our lake on the left of the hill. All right, like that. All right. Alright, now I want to add a plane just to have a clear idea of the shape of the lake. Just create one and scale it a little bit. Right here. Increase scale again. Alright. So we can see that our perimeter of the lake is very visible now, so we can add some detail around the edges. Let's decrease the brush size a little bit. We can go behind the hill a little bit, like that. So here in the background I will add some spots like that. All right. All right. The water must be very present in the scene, the blue of the water, to have a nice contrast with the green of the grass. So let's add another lake on the right of the hill. And here we are. Just add another cube. And as you can see, the collisions are already set up. So you can walk freely with your character on the surface. Alright, now in the link in the description, you'll find a texture generator file on Blender. That's for creating our texture for the landscape. So I will briefly introduce to this node that is for creating watercolor texture. So we have two Voronoi textures that are mixed together with this mix soft light tool. And here you can change the color, the size of the spots of the Voronoi textures, like that. So you have always completely different textures. And here you can try to make some changes to, for example, by moving the sliders, you can see that the the shape of the spots are a little bit dreamy. So if you see here, we have the final mix node that will combine these three other colors with the main one. And with these sliders, you can change the opacity of these three colors. And each one has a slider that you can modify right here. So you can change the size of the spots and the definition of the edges. You can change the scale here, the details, and so on. Just play with this value to have always different textures. That's the mapping. All right. Let's decrease a little bit this value to mix better colors. All right, so I think that we can begin to import on Blender our reference image to try to pick up the right colors for our landscape. So with the image texture, we can set our colors. Let's see. I can start with this green. So you have to pick up this exact code if you want to make the color exactly like mine. This one? Yeah. So I want to mix the three spots with a value of 0.5 like that. And here the first one is this toad, the second this, and the third. Alright, just change this one last node, and here we are. You can, as I said earlier, change the appearance of the spot like that, and you can also play a little bit with this value right here. Okay. Let's change the details a little bit. Alright, so create an image texture and just change the resolution of 1496 and voila. Now we have to bake the texture that we just created. So that's only a copy. Just go here, select cycles. That's very important, and scroll down until you find bake, and leave all the settings like that. So just do the fake. That's I have an error, but it not should be appear if you create a new texture image like this one. So go here and here. All right, bake. Wait a little bit, and after some times just go under UV editing right here, select your textures, and here it is. Wonderful. Just save and import the texture in Photoshop just to make it seamless. Use the clone tool and like that. Alright, so in Unreal, import the textures. In the link in the description, you will find these 3 textures. Just import it and convert to regular texture here. Set the resolution like this and click OK. So we have 2 textures for the grass and 1 for the ground. Now, for coloring the landscape, we have to create a master material. Just click material and rename it landscape. Sorry, not like this. Landscape. Alright. So open your shader and here we can create, let's see, drag our first texture and create on the UVs a texture coordinate. This will be used for changing the size of the texture. And on the RGB, we connect a layer blend, landscape layer blend. So that's for adding different textures on the landscape. So the first one, we can rename it in grass. And the second one, grass 2. Yeah. And here, just add another one, ground. Alright, so we have 3 entries. At this point, just drag the second grass texture and the ground texture. Alright. Plug the text coordinate on all the textures. And here, drag the RGB to each layer to the base color of the landscape. Like that. Alright. Just save. Here. And now we can apply the the material to the landscape. To do that, just create a material instance. So the material instance is a material. It's the same material of the master material, but much lighter. Just plug a 0 to these 3 nodes. Sorry, I forgot that earlier. And now under landscape, scroll down until you see the landscape material and drop your material instance and this one right here. As you can see, it's all black now. That's just normal, do not worry. Go under landscape. And here under paint, we can see our 3 textures. Just click on this plus button and click on weight blend layer normal. That's for saving the texture, the data layer in our Finder, our layer info. just do it with all the textures. Alright, so as you can see, all the landscape is colored with the first texture. And the size is a little big, is a little small, so we can go here and decrease UV tiling at V tiling. U tiling at V tiling to 0.1. And after a save, we can see that the texture now is a little bit bigger. So you can see that I have no seamless texture. That's just a mistake. You'll find your texture pretty much seamless. Right here, like here. So we can start painting now. Are you ready? Alright. So I use the target value. So I'm increase the put strength to 1, and I use the target value to mix the textures. That's because if I use only the tooth strength, it will cause some problems in Unreal Engine 5, like bugs and so on. So for me, it works fine like that. So if I increase the target value, the texture selected will be painted completely. And with a lower target value, I can mix the textures. So you can see that now I can take the ground textures, and here you can see that I pretty much mix the 3 textures. I will go under the lake like that. Decrease a little bit the brush size to make all the perimeters of the lakes. Alright. I speed up a little bit. So here I want to add more details. So just make this part of the landscape a little bit more complex by mixing the texture a little bit more with these spots. Like here, I can create some variation. Let's decrease the brush size to make these little spots right here and here on the hill in the back. That's a painting job. So let's paint. Alright. Here I want to paint I want to paint it under the lake with a full round texture. So I can increase the target value to 1 to make it only the ground applied on the landscape, like that. And I think we are done. Now we can import our grass that you'll find in the link in the description. Create folder rename it grass, like that, and import our mesh. So if you want to make your mesh on the channel, you can find a tutorial where I created this mesh, some months ago. All right. So now we have to combine our mesh with the landscape. So create a landscape type and rename it grass 1. And here just entry an index and just drag your mesh right here. So we have a landscape layer with our mesh combined. So under our landscape master material, this one, we have to combine our mesh with this texture, so that will spawn the just add this node landscape grass output and landscape to layer sample, these 2 nodes. This last one you have to rename exactly like the texture. So the first one is grass, so call it grass. And here we have to drag our landscape layer that we have created earlier, so that will be combined with the texture. So now you'll see the mesh is applied on the landscape based on the texture painted on the landscape, like that. And here you open this object. You can personalize your mesh by, for example, turn off the shadow and maybe increase the density a little bit, like that. Boom. I think that's a good starting point. So under project setting, we'll enable the support on the virtual texture, enable virtual texture support, like this. So this setting is for inherit the color of the landscape on the blades of grass. And to do that, we have to set up some things. Just under texture, runtime real-time texture, and copy paste. We need 2 of them. The first one is, rename it. The first one in color, and the second one, hive. And let's change some parameters, such as this virtual texture size to 11, the second 3, and to here, yes, and leave it like that. Save, and under the hive, just plug the same values. And here, choose World Hive. Save. All right. So now we had to create in the viewport. So right here, search for runtime virtual texture volume. Just copy paste and rename this one RVT color. All right. And the second one, RVT high. All right. So we have two volume in RC. Okay. So we have to combine now the color that we have created in the Finder to the volume in the viewport, and scroll up and select the landscape and then click Set Bounds. As you can see in the distance, it's appeared a yellow box in the distance. That's the volume, and like this is correct. So you have to see the volume expanding like your landscape size. So just click on the landscape and like this and click Set Bounds. So do it for the color and the height volume on your scene. So that part is a little bit tricky, but do not worry. On the landscape material, we have to add a runtime virtual textures and output, like that. That's for enable the landscape material to the runtime virtual texturing support. And here we create the material of the grass. So that's very important. Check the two-sided box so that the grass will be rendered on the two sides. And check off this value, tangent space normal. Okay, just create a color, 3 plus left mouse button. Yes, a green one is okay. And that's our grass color. Create a lerp node and plug the RGB to the bit of the lerp. So the lerp node is to mix two colors. This one and this other one, that is the RBT runtime virtual texture sample parameter. So it's to mix the color of the texture of the landscape with that color that we created earlier. So here we have to plug the base color to the lerp node and drag our color in this. You have to drag our color RBT just here. Oh wow. Alright. Now it's black. That's normal, because I forgot to do something. We will see it later. Just plug the lerp node on the base color of the grass. Save. Alright. I think I will... Yes, I will add a linear gradient. And on the swan, add a 1 minus to multiply to the alpha lerp node, and here I'll add a scalar parameter s plus left mouse button, and this scalar parameter will mix this color to the RVT color. So promote this color to a parameter and call it tip color, and this last one tip color strength. Right, save. And under landscape, rename it your master material graphs. All right. Create our material instance and just drag the material instance of in the mesh of the grass like that. All right, so we had to do a little thing. That's a little bag. So under this, you have to redrag the mesh on the grass type. As you can see, we have our color that is completely black. That's because we have to do a final setup. On the landscape, scroll down, until you see this virtual texture tab. Just create 2 entries and drag the color and the eyes that we created earlier, just like this. As you can see now, the grass are colored in a bad way, but that's a start. So we can start by, let's see, get rid of that brightness. Just create a value of 0 for metallic specular and roughness. Save. Here you can see that the shiny is gone, and for the black effect on the grass, just create a blue color, full blue color. Just type 1 on the Z axis and choose a transform vector. Let's pop this one. Tangent space towards space. So okay. Plug all into normal. Save. And voila! Our rust is half done. That's one tool. So I want to add the possibility of coloring the tip of the grass with this parameter, tip color strength and tip color. So choose a blue color just to see the effect, and that's not good. So we can see it later. So just create another node. Here, alert node, and plug the first lerp node into the letter, in the letter B. And create a multiply node M plus left mouse button and plug this to this, and here we can go directly on the base color of the grass material, and here we can create a scalar parameter just here, and rename it shadow intensity. So this parameter is to bake a shadow. Just create a 1- node to be alpha of the second layer, and up here we create a texture coordinate like that. Texture coordinate, yep, to a mask component, and just take the E to a 1- and the sorry, the G letter, say. So we have two parameters, the tip color and the shadow, the fake shadow intensity. So the tip color is mixing the blue with the RVT, and the shadow intensity is adding some contrast between the blades of grass. So as you can see, the tip color strength is not working correctly, because I think I made a mistake. Yes, we have to change the V gradient here. That's because we need a vertical gradient, not a horizontal gradient. So now it's working correctly, as you can see. And sorry, this is a little error. All right, we can increase a little bit the shadow intensity. Okay. And let's change the tip color with a green tint a little bit. So that's for later. Just play with film colors. Do not worry. And now we can just create a little bit of wind with this node, simple brass wind. Just plug it to the world position offset and remove to parameter all these voices like that. And just add a black color to the last one, like that. Boom. Just say and let's see what we have. We have a lot of confusions right here. So under the master material, we had to categorize each scalar parameter into a group in this case color, and the shadow intensity also. And for the wind, just create a group wind and select the same for all the values like that. Save. And under the material instance now you should find some order. All right. Let's see now. Let's increase this value and make the grass move. As you can see, the base of the grass is moving like crazy. That's not cool. We have to add a little node to make it steady on the ground. So under the master material here, we make some space right here. We create a multiply node, boom, and world position of it here. Just create a texture coordinate and a mesh component mesh, and open it and select the G to a 1 minus node to multiply. All right, save, and now it should work just fine. Let's see. Yep. The base of the grass are steady. Just like that. So we are done. Haha, I'm just kidding. We can work on the dynamic of the grass, because now if I play in the viewport with my beautiful character, as you can see, the grass is completely steady. So we can add something to make some movement of the grass. Just create a material collection. And rename it my player position. Create a vector parameter like that and rename it player position. All right, save, and now let's search our blueprint of our character. Under tick graph, we create a set vector parameter value like this, and we add our my player position, and here select the position. That's the vector parameter that we created earlier, and here we create a get actor location, and plug this one here. Boom. We have done here. Save. That's to define a position on the axis, to define the character position. so that we can take these values on the grass material to modify. Just take the player position to modify the meshes of the grass based on the player position. So we need some colors here. Create a component mask with the RGB selected, and we create a subtract node. Subtract this one. To a world positioned, absolute world position with the subtract, and add a vector length to A. Take the 3 lines to A. Divide. And here we can create our first parameter, radius, that will increase the radius around the character where the blades of grass will be modified. Here we create a power node, and let's set this to 1 for now. Add a saturate node to a 1 minus node. Let me think. Sure. Let's add a multiply, and let's see, to an add node, so that the code this code is a little bit complex, but do not worry, we do all step by step. So here we create a color and set it to yellow, so 1 and 1 right here, to a multiply on the A, and the other there you take the subtract to this multiply, and here we can create a normalize node to a multiply, and here we can create our bend parameter. That's for bending key threads. Set a default value of 100 and add another multiply, so we can create a texture coordinate for another. So let's add a mesh component to the letter G, to a -1 node, like always. Multiply like that. Let's make all ordered to this multiply. So we need another parameter. So let's add another multiply here, down. So we can create a make glow 3. Just plug it. And here, just plug a 0 to the X and to the I. And on the Z, we can create our last color parameter, tremble. Let's set 100, like always. And we are pretty much done. So we have to combine the movement of the wind with the dynamic of the grass. So just add a multiply and add O to the wall position offset. Categorize this to rest interaction to all the parameters, just to have order in the the material instance. So where effect. So that's a little bit tricky because you'll see the result only on the viewport or no. So with all 200, we can see that we have this result. So just play with the values to have some result. So after a little bit of trying, I can say that, let's see, then 300, that's a little bit better. You can also go under 0, let's say minus 300, and you can see that the grass are moving in the opposite direction. So try some values with your character, with your scenes, and after some try, I find some decent values that I think are good enough just to have this wonderful effect. So it's flowers time. So create a flower folder with a materials folder in it. All right. So import these three images that are the secret sauce to make the flowers, and I will explain their function now. So this is the alpha of the flowers. So we have to draw some flowers on a black canvas, and voila. The black will be transparent in Unreal Engine 5 and the white will be our flowers. And these colored masks are for changing and personalize the color of the flowers in UEFI, so that each flowers is separated. And the last one is a simple gradient to make the leaves of the flowers colored by a green color, two green colors. So let's create our master material for the flowers, and like always, for a flat surface we can select masked and here two-sided. Alright. Let's see, just drag on the master material the three textures and plug the alpha on the opacity mask. As you can see in this label viewport, we can already see our flowers. Black flowers. Alright. So here we can create multiply and two lerp nodes that will serve to color the flowers. So add an append node and another lerp node. So we'll take the red of the texture and we'll create a red color. Promote it to a parameter. Rename it color1. Just do the same with the color blue, color 2, and the third one, color 3. Alright. So we can create a plane just to have an idea of what we are doing. Very good. Just promote to material instance this custom material. Like always, remember, never use the master material. Always the material instance. As you can see, we have our flowers. Just a plug for each color of the texture. In like this one is, so this is would be, and we add to drag the blue on the second layer, and sorry, I'm a little bit precise. I want the green on the second spot. That's completely useless, but I'm doing that way, so sorry. Just plug the alert on the append and the alpha of the texture on the last alert node, the append on the B, and we can create a parameter, a value of 1 to the append, and lastly the last lerp on the base color, and you see this wonderful result. And under the material instance, after a well done save, we can see that we can personalize in this way each flower. So we need the gradient to color the leaves of the flowers. So create a vector 4, vector 4, constant 4 vector, yes. So choose two colors, maybe a green and a blue one. Yes. And we have to mix these two colors by taking the red of the gradient to the lerp node. As you can see, the blue color is on top. Just return to a much greener tone, like that. Alright, save. I think that we can now add a 0 value to metallic, specular, and a 1 value to roughness, like always, pretty much. Alright, and here we can see that we have our big flowers. The shape will be a little bit different compared of the files in the description, but do not worry, just draw some flowers different or the same. That's not important. Let's add some wind like before. You can, like always, promote. You have to promote all this value parameter and this last one like this. All right. And here we can also make this very boring procedure, I don't know, and categorize every parameter to color, wind, and so on. Just increase in value, and as before we have our base of the flower that's moving. So you know what to do now. I will make the code from scratch, but you can also copy paste it from the grass. Plug in there. Let's coordinate. the mass component on the letter G, -1, sorry, the multiply, and we are done. For now, like that. Right. So, what do we have here? On Blender, we have to create our mesh. So, just import our alpha tree just to see the right orientation of the flowers, and just copy paste some shapes to add this composition. You will find it on the link in the description. Just reset the UVs and make some changes like that, and voila! We have our wonderful, I think very wonderful mesh. And here, just drag your material instance and scale a little bit the flowers like that. Right, move. Alright, so you can see that the flowers are a little bit too dark. Don't you think? Go under material, master material, and here let's add a blue color. One to the z-axis like before, to the normal, and click off tangent space normal, like we did it for the dress material. As you can see now, we have very bright colors, but that's normal. So I will create a reference folder where I will drag my reference image of this wonderful piece of work, and I will use the image to match the color of our flowers. So as you can see, I can take this violet tint for the color 1 and color 3, and the color 1 is a little bit brighter, and the last one, color 2, is more white also. And here we can take, on the master material, we can take the color from the landscape directly. So just take 2 different spots, that, and just save it all. As you can see now, the flowers are blending very good with the landscape. Sorry. Alright. Just resize the flowers like that, and copy paste 3 distinct flowers, and let's duplicate our material instance to make 3 different color variation. So maybe one more bluish and more pinky, like this one. So of course, sorry for my English. It's very Italian. So pick some pink and this one, okay? And for the last one, I'll say something more bluish. Just drag the material instance on your flower. See the result. Do not forget that. And here, fake. There are 3 colors. Yeah, that. So we have 3 colors, and we will decrease the saturation a little bit of the pink one. All right. So now we'll start to scatter the flowers around the landscape, and for doing that, I want to take some reference images, just to have a clear idea on how to paint the flowers. So before doing that, we have to take our mesh and duplicate it. After combine the material instance with all the meshes of the flowers, so like that. Duplicate and reduplicate it. All right, and combine the respective material instance to the meshes, so that because we have to use the foliage tools, and for using it, you will need 3 distinct meshes. So just select the first one, and let's see. Uncheck the cast shadow box, because we do not need the shadow for this particular scene. Here you can increase the scale X to make the flowers a little more big, like that. And you can see that we have too much density. So we can, let's say, wow. Decrease the paint density right there. So you have to play a little bit with the paint density and the painting and the density right here, just to have a balance between the 2 values. So let's start painting. I want to paint some longer spots that are on the hill primarily for now, and under the hill. So we can start by mixing the 2 colors and the meshes. Just make let's increase a little bit the density. So you have to uncheck the shadow like before. So we can start painting all the 3 meshes. Just take the brush to make very long spots. And the last one, we can increase a little bit the scale X to make the blue one stand up more in the center of the spot, to make some composition, studied composition for the spots. So we have to pay particular attention to the composition of the flowers, because if you scatter it around randomly, it will not work. So we have to paint very carefully. Maybe we'll add some of the pink ones just on the external part of the spots right there, so we can paint like that. Right here, right behind the heel. So I think that's a very calm job. I really like it. Just paint, clear your mind, and be Picasso for a while. As you can see, our scene is making progress, and voila. So let's say that on the grass, I want to add the motion, the interactivity with the character for the flowers as well, to make all dynamic. So just do the same as the dress, and as you can see, we cannot see very much. Just go here and let's change the value a little bit. That's good, I think. Just copy paste the same values to all the flowers, like that. And voila, I think that the dynamic of the flowers are very good. There is a little movement, not too much, but enough to make a nice effect. So we can paint a little bit more, maybe around this point of the landscape. I will speed up a little bit to the procedure so that we can finish the scene before turning too much hold. That's a very bad joke, sorry. And just paint. Keep in mind that you have to take care of the composition like always. And here I will paint some grass, the second texture more, because it's more greenish, so that we can see some more variation on the landscape. I think that we are good. And now I will raise up a little bit the plane of the water, and I will try to make some holes in the central plane, just to make the landscape more detailed, with more variation of colors, with blue, with the blue of the waters. I want to make the water stand up more in these points. I think that will be very nice. Let's see. Just paint like this. Just use the smooth tool to just ease the landscape a little bit, to make it more less steep. And now we can take our plane, not the landscape, the plane, and try to raise it. That's not bad. It's like a swampy environment, but I think that's very good. So I will increase the water surface a little bit. Like that. We can continue to sculpt our landscape like that. Maybe also around the hill, just to increase the size of the water behind the hill. And all right. So I think that I will color the plane now in a blue color. Just create a material and pick a blue tone, just to have an idea of the contrast that we'll get. Yep, that's beautiful. I think we are on the right track. So now I want to flatten a little bit the landscape and go in this direction to make a little island in the middle of the lake. That's for having a spot, an important spot in this position. Let's see. All right, let's increase the height. This point. Let's add a little bit of grass and just make and just move our cubes in that spot. That's to have a clear idea on where to focus our attention. And here behind, I want to add some detail in the landscape just to increase the overall quality of the sculpting. I'll add some ground color on the hills behind to add some more quality. And here I want to add another types of flowers. So, but before that, I want to add a simple node. Just add a multiply and convert to a scalar parameter this value and call it brightness. That's for decrease the brightness of the flowers because I think they are too bright. So here in the material instance, we can see that our first flower will become a little more dark. Do it with the second and the third variation, like that. Then here I will decrease the overall brightness in the material instance. As you can see, the flowers now are a little bit darker, and I think that's a good compromise. Let's see. Right, save. Okay. I think we are good. So now let's add another type of flower. More ideal maybe with the swampy area that we just created. So I will promote to variable the 3 textures so that we can find all the textures needed in the material instance, and just duplicate the material instance of the flower. And drag the new textures that of course you'll find in the description. And here just drag our new material instance, and here we can start to personalize our color. I think I'll go into something on the yellowish color. So here, like always, we'll take our reference image and we'll open our material instance of the new flowers, and here we pick up some yellow tones, right, like that. So let's try to
find something. Let's decrease the saturation a little bit and pick a color that's not too much bright. Alright. And now we'll add our new mesh and we'll start painting the new flower. Just increase the height and let's see. So let's add the text a little bit and let's increase the eye a little bit more. Alright, we can start painting this type of flower near the water. That's important to make our composition be ideal and realistic, because we want this type of flowers to be grow only near the water. That will create some good composition and fade. We'll see it. We'll see the result right now. Alright, let's paint. Then here you can see that I'm pretty much very happy with the result. What a wonderful look. Yep. So I want to make the yellow flowers a little bit more yellow, but maybe with a tone of a more orange. Just to, let's see, like that is too much. So guys, now we will see the implementation of the remaining asset for finish the scene. I purchased them because I am game developer with a full-time job outside of my game developer career. So I have also a family and a little girl to take care of. So I do not have much time, and so I decided to buy some asset. And for now on, and on this tutorial, we'll see how to implement these assets. Here we have the main assets that I implemented, and we have water, sky, volumetric clouds, and this last one is a stylized environment that I think it's very good, and it has almost everything that I used. Clearly the overall quality is different because, for example, the water of the first asset that I just show you previously was better in terms of quality, and that's the asset that I implemented in this tutorial. So if you want to save some money, I can advise you to go to this last asset, because that will contain water, the sky, mountains and clouds. That are the most assets that we will use for this scene. So I will show you how to implement the water of this asset. Let's begin. We have to add the asset to your project. You can go just here, and you'll see that we have three blueprints objects. In this case, I have only the ocean because I needed only that, so I just make some cleanup. So I add only the ocean. And here, if you scroll up on the blueprint, we can start by decreasing this value. That will make the surface of the water more small, and that will be useful for a much lighter scene in terms of performance. So if you're making a game, maybe that's the best option. And here we can see that the water is very beautiful. So delete the plane that we created earlier, and here you can see our ocean, our lake. Sorry. And if you scroll down, just to reach the Gaston weight tab, and here you can increase this value to make the water more flat and more ideal for our scene, I think, because a lake is more calm, and I need this kind of waves for my scene. So here we can scroll up a little bit to find the foam values, just to understand what are we going to see now. The foam intensity will increase or decrease the opacity of this intersection between water and landscape. So that's the main that's one of the main settings that we are going to personalize. The foam speed, of course, also, and the tile. Try to find a good balance. So here I made some tasks. See, try to increase this value, and if you scroll up, just try to maybe increase the day density. Yep, that's too much. 0.2, that's okay. And the sun reflection intensity. So you have to play a little bit. I will leave all like that, and I will scroll down to the Gaston wave a little bit more. So nope, let's increase this. Ooh, a little bit too much, I think. Let's say that we can start by plug at 0.2 here and at 20 here, and increase maybe this to 50. All right. I think for now we are done. Yeah. And the second asset are this wonderful sky. They are skyboxes. Just import the asset to your project like this one, and here we can find our materials and our dome. Just drag the dome on your scene and select the daylight picture. Just wait a little bit until the shaders is compiled, and voila. That's not bad, but I think that I would choose maybe this one, because it's a little bit more brighter. I think that's a, and we can rotate the door to just have I think I will have the sun on the right, because I like that drawing. So we have to rotate the directional light also, like that, just to have a realistic illumination based on the skybox. And here I can see the illumination on the cape of my character. That's for having the best point of light based on the direction I will walk on the scene. So I will go up to the hill, so I want the sun to be maybe in this direction. And I will now start to personalize the appearance of the light. So the skylight here, I will increase the intensity scale a little bit just to see the results. So you can see that so much. Let's stay around 3. And let's go back to the directional light. And let's decrease a little bit. 4. And here enable the temperature slider. And let's bring it down to around this value. Right. Let's see. Let's increase a little bit the intensity. So it's always useful to have a reference to understand better the lightning. And in this case, we'll go with a fast process volume. And you can see that now is on RC. And we had to search for a specific setting. Search for unbound and check this one. This will add the effects outside of that yellow box there. So if, for example, if you increase the saturation of the global, we can see that the effect is applied outside of the box. So we can start by playing with these settings to have a much saturated tone. Let's also try to play with the contrast. Let's see what we can get. Leave it to 1 and increase the gamma and decrease it. Alright, that's interesting. I want to add some contrast between the grass, so I will go to a 0.9 of the gamma setting. Let's decrease the saturation to 1.1, 0.8 for the gamma. Let's say 85, 0.85. Think that's not bad at all. All right. Let's scroll down to the shadow tab, and we do not have a shadow, so meadow saturation and increase this a little bit. Wow, that's a little bit too much, but 1.1, I think that's okay. And the gamma 0.95. So I think that's wonderful. I pretty much happy with this result. Let's see our references. So the grass is more green on the reference, but the water, I think that we are very close of what I want. And here the grass, you can see that's not bad at all. You think? So I want to try to decrease the brightness of the textures that we applied to the landscape to make the landscape, the grass of the landscape a little bit more darker. Let's say 0.7. So the difference is very little, but these details are essential to make the scene stand up more, I think. So now we can proceed with the mountains. I just ordered the mountains like that because I like this this order where I have all the necessary assets in one folder, and I added parameter for increase the brightness of the mountain. So just drag the mountain on the scene and just make a little bit of just rotate the mesh until you get uh, uh, a nice composition, and just drag the material instance on the mountain just to see that we have a nice match between the mountain with the landscape. And let's see. All right. So I want to try to blend better the grass with the mountain. I will for now disable the tip color, and I'll go to the texture of the landscape again, and I will change a little bit the hue of the texture here. Let's try 50. You can see that the tone is going towards a blue tint. I'll say 20 is a good compromise, I think. And let's do the same thing with the second texture. Let's say 15. I think that we can decrease it a little bit. Now the tip color. Okay. Alright, so I will try to blend a little bit. I will try to blend the mountains a little bit better with the landscape, with the sculpt tool. And as you can see, the saturation of the landscape is too high. So we can go back to the textures and decrease the saturation a little bit. 0.7, maybe 0.85. That's okay, I think. And now I will add some details with the ground texture on the landscape to have some variation on the textures. And here we are. So we can start to find the right composition to make our mountains in the back. And this job was very difficult for me. I make a lot of trial and error to make the composition stand up in a convincing way. So here I speed up a little bit the entire procedure. All right, like that. And I will also make some little changes on the landscape, add the mountains in the back of the scene, like that. All right, so that's okay, I think. We will see the final settings of the water in later in the tutorial. Do not worry. If you had some different result. So now I want to have the tip color on the dress. So I'll try to find a nice gradient, a nice color. Let's see 0.4 for the tip color strength. All right. And here I want to add a texture. I want to blend well the texture of the landscape with the mountains. So we'll add a new entry on the blend layer, and I will duplicate this the first texture and plug into the last the new textures layer, and I will copy paste the texture coordinate to have another dimension of the last texture. Here you can see that I don't have the last texture, so let's see, just save. So I think that's a bug. Just let's try to import material instance on this, and yes, it's worked. I plug the material in the master material on the landscape material, and then again the material instance. Sorry. So here we can see that the last textures is too much little, so we'll increase a lot the size, and to do that we have to go to the master material and change the hue tiling to maybe 0.001. Let's see. Right, that's too much. Let's try 0.01. That's better, yes. So we'll start to paint with a very high brush size in the far distance of the landscape, just to have a nice blend between the landscape and the mountains. Just adjust the saturation and the color of the on the last texture to match all with the mountains. I'll just add some flowers in the back of the hill again. And here, also on this asset, you'll find the clouds. Just make a plane. And let's add some clouds. So as you can see, we have a little problem. The clouds is not rendered on top of the water. So just go to the plane settings and search for what? Translucency sort priority and set it to 1. As you can see, now it works good. So here we have some settings, some values, and I'll add a multiply node with a scalar parameter named brightness. That's for make the clouds more white, and let's increase a little bit. So that's too much. Here you can change the colors of the cloud. And here we can increase this value to make the cloud stand up more, or to make it more white. Yes. And I will try to also change the brightness on the texture directly. Pay attention to the overall details of the clouds. Do not erase too much detail. And here I will begin to compose a nice scene, a nice composition made with clouds, and start by reducing a little bit the opacity. That's just up to you. Play with the values to achieve a good result. I think that they are too much gray now, but we will see that later. Just make a good composition now. I will add the clouds on the mountain. Like that. And here I will add a volumetric fog near the lake. Just add the project to your scene and drag this object here, this blueprint object. And as you can see, there is nothing, because you had to go to under exponential effort and turn on volumetric fog. As you can see now, the fog is visible. Lower the resolution, the quality preset, sorry. And just scale the fog as you like. Increase the sidepan, your distortion scale, and here we can increase the shape edge fall off. And most important, we'll position the fog in the right way. Here, let's increase the opacity to add more detail on the fog. Let's scale a little bit this direction, and Voila, that's a very good effect. I think now we can change the color to make it more white. That's wonderful. So I think that's a good result. So let's see. All right, the fog is very heavy in terms of performance. So just pay attention to that. And if you run this script, you can change the view distance and you can enable the paint mode. Just go here and start painting. So with X, you can start to erase some fog in a point, and if you press the letter M, you can try to direction the fog like that. It will create a very nice effect of directional fog. I don't know how to say it. So, I think also the fog works well now. So here we can add this thick clouds on the terrain. Just go under directional light and plug this material here. As you can see, you can increase the shadow intensity. And remember that this function is available on the asset of the mountains and the clouds. And here you can change the values to have nice results, such the speed of the fake clouds. As you can see, we have a really nice effect. And now I will show you the final settings of the water. So here I'll play with the values a little bit to make the water a little bit more dynamic. So like that. I want all right, so here this is the last asset, and that's for the arc present in the scene. And I didn't show you this asset before because that's a really small part of the scene. You can find maybe some asset, some free assets in online, and I just place the same asset on top of the hill and in the middle of lake, like that. just to have a point of interest for the scene. So that's for gameplay reason, because that's a scene for my game that I am actually developing. So you can do whatever you want with that. And here we can position all in the right way. So we rotate a little bit this one, and let's say right. So we are near the end of this long tutorial, and these are my settings, my last settings for the wave. If you want to take notes. And yep, I think we are almost done. We will increase a little bit, maybe the width length. And here on the clouds, I added a white color to a multiply to a scalar parameter under the emissive color. That's to increase the white color without losing too much detail on the clouds. So you have to just play a little bit. I will decrease a little bit the brightness that I just created earlier. Like that. And I will export this image because there was cut, as you can see there. If you re-import now, you can see that you are ready. So you can play a little bit more with the clouds, because I do not want to lose too much detail of the drawing. So I will play a little bit with the emissive color and value. That's just up to you. You have to play a little bit based on your preferences. So I think we are at the end of this journey. Yeah. So thank you for following this very long video. I hope that was very helpful. And well, let me know if you like it. And see you on the next video. Bye.